Another week of parenting paused. Here I am, Leslie Potter, here to share with you some of my insights and how I view parenting. So again, remember, anything that I share with you is my view, and my view comes from my own experience. It comes from many years of being a parent and just my deep inquiry. And let me tell you, my view has changed over the years. It continues to change, and your view may also, because as you grow and you have more consciousness and awareness, the view may shift. And one of the difficult things about this is when it does shift, often we can look back at our parenting and feel guilty and beat ourselves up about, oh my God, I did this, I did that. And that is, again, from a more conscious view when you look back. Remember, you did what you did. You did the best you could with the consciousness that you had in the moment. And if you're listening to this, I'm sure you were constantly working to grow your consciousness, to become more and more aware, to be there for you and your children. So I highly, highly recommend, if you're feeling any guilt or shame about the past, that you really come into your pure joy view. And we believe that feeling guilty is a refusal to be intimate with what is. This comes from my dear mentor, Bruce Tiff, and I find this to be absolutely true. So let's be intimate with where you are now instead of beating yourself up around where you maybe were before. Now, the other thing I want to talk about this week is I just got off a call with mamas, and we were talking about the difference between power and influence. Now, when we're emotionally triggered, and especially if we're feeling powerless, often we behave in a powerful way, trying to control our children, trying to get them to be certain ways. And yet, remember, no one likes to be powered over, right? And influence is something very, very different. Influence comes from love. And yet, in my experience, we've learned in this culture, in this world, not to trust the influence, the power of love versus the actions of power, which can often be actions of control. Overprotection often leads us, worry often leads us to powering over, trying to control another human being. And it is really, really hard to actually admit and to sit down in that I am powerless over another human being and their actions. Now, with little ones, I can scare them into not doing things maybe, but I'm actually powerless to control another human being and their actions. And that can feel extremely debilitating in the parental role. If we feel our role is to have power, we think, well, our children should listen to us and they should respect us and they should do what we tell them to do. And then my question is, well, why? Why do we assume that we actually have this power? We don't. And so if we choose influence over power, influence, at least for me, comes from love. And the way I know I am in love over my power, when I'm in power over mode, I'm very tight. My fists are strong, closed. I want to control. Usually I'm feeling frustrated over top that powerlessness, and I'm trying to force a round peg into a square hole. And I don't know if you've ever felt that. I imagine you have if you're here. But that is not influence when I'm trying to get my daughter to do something. Influence comes when I come back in and safe seat and love myself, even for my feelings of powerlessness. But when I open my heart and I open my fist, and I really sit down in loving myself, then I am able to influence my environment with my love, not with my power over. And it's not even really loving the other. It is really feeling the core tenderness of my love for my humanness, for my being, for my nice, for my mean, for my happy, for my sad, for all of it. And then when that love, the door opens, then that becomes the influence. My actions come out of that instead of my feelings driving my actions. So if my feeling powerless drives my actions, most likely I'm going to choose power over. But if my feeling love drives my actions, I'm going to do loving actions. And again, remember, loving actions. We're not talking about the ooey gooey, I'm always going to please and placate loving. We're talking about the true power of love, which for me is clear. It's not personal. It's open. It is, I can't even describe it. I can only point you toward those moments when you feel love. Think about looking at a sunset that just blows your heart open. I remember the day I got my daughter and looking in the mirror and just seeing her, me holding her, and my heart just blew open with love. So this is the influence we're talking about versus the power. And I send you so much love and support you in continuing to parent yourself and your child from a place of love. Have a beautiful, there I go, have a beautiful, beautiful week, and I will see you next week on Parenting Paused. Thank you for listening to this episode of Parenting Paused. If you enjoyed the episode, do me a favor and share it with your mama friends. You can also leave a review wherever you listen, which will support getting the Pure Joy message out. Come on over to the Pure Joy Parenting Practice Facebook page or join me on Instagram to hear more. And don't forget to download your free copy of the Safe Seat course on the Pure Joy website. And while there, check out the offerings page